When you believed what the narcissist said about you, your identity was hijacked. Now it's time to take it back. There comes a moment where the fog begins to lift. You start questioning everything, especially the version of yourself you were tricked into believing. That's the beginning of taking your power back. Because let's be real, when you were in their world, your identity was not your own. It was hijacked, reprogrammed, and reshaped into a shell that served their ego, not your soul. The narcissist needed you to forget who you were so they could feed on who they wanted you to be. They needed a version of you that was easier to control, quicker to apologize, slower to question. So they chipped away at you, comment by comment, glare by glare, silence by silence, until you started second, guessing your own instincts, and it wasn't overnight. That's the sinister part. It was slow, surgical, deliberate. Like water eroding a rock, you didn't notice the damage until one day you realized you were gone, your laugh wasn't as loud, your confidence wasn't as solid, your dreams weren't as vivid, you had been made to feel guilty for wanting more, ashamed for needing boundaries, selfish for desiring peace, and you wore those labels like they were facts. But they weren't facts. They were weapons, and the damage they caused was real. But listen, if they could rewrite your story with lies, then you can reclaim it with truth. Because your identity isn't gone, it's just buried beneath the rubble of manipulation, and rubble can be cleared, brick by brick, belief by belief. You don't find your identity again by staying safe. You find it by getting dangerous with the truth. You speak it, you scream it, you live it until it feels like oxygen again. Until the real you breathes freely and unapologetically. Taking back your identity means you stop apologizing for your voice. You stop minimizing your intuition. You stop explaining your feelings to people who never had the capacity to understand them in the first place. It means you let your roar be louder than their whisper. It's not about revenge, it's about resurrection, your worth, your power, your truth. They were never destroyed, just silenced, temporarily, and you were never weak. You were silenced while strong. There's a big difference. They called you dramatic because your truth disrupted their control. They called you selfish because your needs got in the way of their manipulation. But now you see it, don't you? You were never those things. You were just someone too powerful to remain in their cage. Your comeback isn't about shouting louder than them. It's about living louder than the version they created of you. It's about being so authentic, so free, that their lies evaporate in your presence. You don't even need to correct them anymore. Your healed existence does that for you. This is the moment you reclaim your name. Not the one they gave you, not the one they shamed you into, but the one written in your spirit since day one. The name that means resilient, whole, redeemed, unbreakable. You don't need their validation to become whole again. You just need permission from the one person who was silenced in all this. You. And once you give yourself that permission, nothing can stop you. Not even the memory of who you used to be. Because now, you're back, and this time, you're taking up all the space you were taught to shrink away from. This time, you're standing in rooms they tried to lock you out of. This time, you remember who you are. And you're not asking for approval. You're claiming territory. The narcissist was never the source of your strength. You were always the source at some point. The narcissist convinced you that your strength came from them. They made you believe that without their validation, you would crumble. They conditioned you to think that you could only be your best when they were watching, when they were controlling, when they were pulling the strings. And what they really stole from you wasn't just your confidence. It was your belief in your own power. But here's the truth. They were never the source of your strength. They only appeared to be because you were giving them the energy that should have been yours all along. You were outsourcing your power, draining yourself by trying to live up to their standards, while all the time, the very power you needed was locked inside of you. You didn't need them. You never did. What you needed was the clarity to see that your greatness was never dependent on their approval. The moment you realize that the source of your strength has always been you, everything changes. The chains fall off. The fog lifts. The door swings open. Your strength was always found in your resilience. It was in the way you picked yourself up after each blow. It was in the hope that never fully died, no matter how hard they tried to bury it. They may have tried to convince you that your voice didn't matter, but the truth is, your voice is the one thing they could never control. In the deepest moments of your struggle, when you thought you couldn't go on, you were still the one carrying you through. It wasn't their love that kept you afloat. It was your own unbreakable will to survive, to push, to keep fighting for the life that was yours to live. The narcissist wanted you to believe that you were weak without them, that you couldn't survive the storm, but storms don't destroy what's already strong. They test it, and you've passed the test every single time, and now you get to see the truth. You are not powerless. You are powerful. You don't need anyone else to light your fire, because you are the fire. You don't need someone else to approve of your dreams, because they are already worthy. Think about the times you stood up when no one else believed in you. Think about the times you kept pushing when everything inside of you was telling you to quit. That was you. That was always you. You've been your own hero from day one. You just forgot. The narcissist wanted you to be dependent on them, but now that you see the truth, you realize just how independent you are. You have everything you need to thrive inside of you. You don't need to chase after anyone's love or approval. You need only to look inward and ignite the spark that's been waiting to burn brighter than ever. The real magic. You've already done the hardest part. You've survived. You've faced darkness that would have broken someone else. And now you're standing stronger than ever. What happens next isn't about finding power, it's about using the power you already possess. When you start owning your strength, the world changes. The narcissist fades into the background. Their attempts to undermine you lose their weight. The world becomes your stage, and you are the performer, the creator, and the director of your own story. The power of your truth will set you free. But first, you must speak it. There's an unspoken rule that the narcissist thrives on silence. They want you to be silent, to swallow your truth, to bury your pain, to let their lies go unchallenged. Because as long as you're silent, as long as you hide your truth, they can control your narrative. They can define who you are and what you stand for. But here's the kicker. When you finally find the courage to speak your truth, their control slips away. And that's when the real power of your freedom starts. The narcissist tried to silence you in so many ways. They invalidated your feelings. They gaslit you. They manipulated the very words you used to express yourself. They made you feel like you were too much, too emotional, too dramatic. They turned your truth into a weapon against you, using it to twist your reality and confuse your sense of self. But here's the paradox. Your truth is your greatest weapon. It's the one thing that no one, not even a narcissist, can take from you. It's your personal power, your foundation, your clarity. Your truth is untouchable. It's the essence of who you are, the soul of your experience, and when you speak it, when you finally find the courage to let it out, you become unstoppable. Imagine the day you stop asking for permission to be real. Imagine the day you stop questioning whether your feelings are valid or not. The moment you stop apologizing for being who you are. That is the moment you break free from their control. That is the moment you shift from being their victim to being your own hero. Speaking your truth doesn't always mean shouting it from the rooftops. Sometimes it starts with whispering it to yourself. It starts with affirming every single day that you are worthy of being heard. It starts with reclaiming the voice you've allowed others to silence. And once you speak it to yourself, it becomes impossible for anyone else to shut you down again. It's scary at first. It's terrifying, actually. The narcissist's voice has been so loud in your head for so long that the idea of speaking your truth feels like an act of rebellion. But here's the truth about that fear. It's not yours. It's theirs. They instilled that fear in you because they knew how dangerous it would be for you to finally stand in your power. When you speak your truth, you take the first step in owning your life. The power doesn't lie in the words themselves. It lies in the act of speaking them. The moment you stop letting the narcissist dictate your reality, you open the door to an entirely new world of possibilities. It's not just about telling others who you are. It's about telling yourself. It's about no longer allowing someone else's lies to define you. The minute you speak your truth, you give yourself the permission to be free from the weight of their words. And when you are free from their words, you can step into your authentic self and never look back. The narcissist wanted you to live in doubt. They wanted you to question your every move, your every thought, your very existence. But here's the beautiful thing, they cannot take away what you know to be true about yourself. You are not what they said. You are not what they tried to make you believe. You are who you say you are. The truth you speak today is the foundation of the life you build tomorrow. It's the seed of every boundary you will set. It's the compass that guides you out of their chaos and into your peace. And once you've spoken it, once you've declared it, there is no turning back. The chains fall away, the lies dissolve, you are free. When you finally speak your truth, you will realize that the narcissist's power over you wasn't in their manipulation. It was in your silence, and your silence is now broken. You have spoken your truth. You have set yourself free. The narcissist's game is over, and now you control the rules. The narcissist's game was a clever one, wasn't it? They were masters at manipulation, playing with your emotions, your trust, your self-worth. They made you believe that they held all the cards, that they controlled the game, and that your fate was in their hands. They set the rules, they decided the terms, and you were left trying to keep up, always a step behind, always wondering what you did wrong. But now the game has changed, the rules have shifted. You are no longer playing by their script. You are the one holding the pen, and in this new game, you control the narrative. Here's the powerful truth. The narcissist never controlled the game. They only made you believe they did. In reality, the moment you step into your truth and reclaim your life, you realize that you were always the one calling the shots. They were never as powerful as they seemed. They only appeared to be because you were allowing them to dictate your every move. Now that you've broken free, you can rewrite the rules. And this time, the rules serve you. This is where your power lies. In taking back control of your own life, the narcissist thrived on your insecurities. They thrived on your confusion, your self-doubt, your fear of being alone. But now that fear has evaporated. You've seen the truth. You've seen the game for what it is. And once you see the game for what it is, you no longer fear it. You own it. You might think that because you've walked away from the narcissist, you're somehow the one who lost. But that's the greatest trick they ever played on you. The real loss was theirs, because you are gaining your power back. You're claiming your freedom. You're breaking free from the toxic cycle they created. This is a powerful shift. You don't need to fight them anymore. You've already won. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The fact that you're standing here reading this shows that you have already broken the chains. The battle was never between you and them. It was always between you and the version of yourself they tried to create. The narcissist used fear and manipulation as their weapons, but now fear has no power over you. The moment you stop fearing their influence is the moment their grip on you disappears. You're no longer living in their shadow. You've stepped into your own light, and that light is bright enough to guide you wherever you want to go. You now have the opportunity to create a life that reflects who you truly are, not who they said you were. You can finally live for you without apologizing for your needs, your desires, your dreams. You no longer need to walk on eggshells, afraid of their next outburst, their next criticism. The truth is, you are free. The narcissist's game was never about love. It was never about growth. It was about control, and now you are in control. The future is yours. You get to decide how you show up in the world. You get to decide who you let into your space. You get to decide what makes you happy, what nourishes your soul, and what brings you peace. You are no longer at their mercy. Let me be clear, this is not about vengeance. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you can stand tall without them. You don't need their approval to validate your worth. You don't need their love to feel complete. The only thing you need is the truth that's been inside of you all along. You are enough. You've reclaimed the power to control the direction of your life. And once you realize that, the narcissist's influence dissolves. No longer will their lies distort your reality. No longer will you be manipulated by their chaos. The rules have changed, and now you write them. As we come to the end of this journey, I want you to truly reflect on everything you've learned, everything you've uncovered about your own power. This entire experience, this battle with the narcissist, wasn't about their victory over you. It was about your victory over yourself, the discovery of your strength, your truth, and your unshakable will to thrive. You were never weak, you were never broken, you were simply blinded by their illusions, and now that you've seen through those illusions, the truth is crystal clear. You are powerful beyond measure. The narcissist might have tried to convince you that you were unworthy. They may have made you doubt your value, question your worth, and fear your own voice. But today, you know the truth. You were always worthy. You were always enough. And once you embraced your own power, once you recognized the strength that lay within you, you were unstoppable. The silence they tried to impose on you has been broken. You've spoken your truth, reclaimed your strength, and rewritten the rules of your own game. Now you control your narrative. You no longer wait for anyone else's validation, because you are the one who determines your worth. The love you seek is the love you give yourself. The success you desire is the success you create. The narcissist's influence over you has faded into the past. They no longer have the power to dictate your reality, because you have stepped into your truth. You are free, and with that freedom, you now have the power to craft the life you deserve. Life full of peace, joy, and abundance. You get to choose who you become from this moment forward, and you will become someone who rises above any challenge, who stands tall no matter the storm. Your journey isn't over, it's only just begun. But this time, you walk forward with confidence, knowing that the most powerful force in your life is you. And as long as you hold onto your truth, your strength, and your belief in yourself, nothing can ever stop you. Remember, the narcissist's story ended the moment you decided to write your own. And from this day forward, the pen is in your hands. Go and create the life you've always been meant to live. Thank you.